Shubor na Snem jong Nongsan Hima.
Ka Shillong Literary Festival sa Shisian Pat Kalawan Biang Hakasin Kabalay, nadu pasdang ya ka Snem arajar at pulay. Kani katamasa kalasdang nadu Mynta kasi kakatsaw tering unay wiyang arajar at pulay. Kabankod hadu ka kanriyo tering mantahi ubanay hanan polok. Umentri beri kami ikatanat jungok kai pertay uba poling do uloong. Baka suarkar kam nyo sting iki kam banwan ra ikilat kilenti na Mynta ka jilla. Uba pol wa kenturu ikipat ba nong snong maniasno ktilang banwan ra yu so jong jingjab man pensa priang iki sap ki phong shiki weipat ki badan kam. Hagani ka sngi la don lang ru Commissioner and Secretary ka Sarkar Jilla Dr. Vijay Kumar hagbaw laong baw kermen bagi tamasa ki bawan ra ka jilla kin kintiyo ya ka roy ka kiyo hapo ka jilla bat ban airu iki samla ya ka kabu ban mi haki rinsan ban peni ki sap ka baki don. How new Snem kani katamasa kan peni hadu palat riu pau tam Ngut ki Nongthoh kon ki nong kren ki nong yathuk hana hakba ki Nongthoh ki bala pau bat ki bakin sai tam kin don lang hakani katamasa.
It's a stupendous, gorgeous morning, and when you look at the beauty around us, something that internationally only Japan can rival at the kind of cherry blossoms that we have. And also keeping in mind that today is Children's Day, I think it is only befitting to recall what the kids have sang just a while back. I can't deny what I believe. I can't be what I'm not. I think that captures the spirit of the art. I can't deny what I believe, and I can't be what I'm not. And looking around, I'm tempted to paraphrase Wordsworth. On such a beautiful, shiny day, I'd like to take back our memories to our childhood and the poems we learned as kids, and paraphrase one of Wordsworth's best known poems, My Heart Leaps Up. My heart leaps up when I behold cherry blossoms across the hills. So was it when my life began, so is it now I am a man. So be it when I shall grow old, or let me die. The child is father of the man, and I could wish my days to be bound each to each by natural piety. For our guests who have come from outside the state, I've always maintained that yes, we do have a couple of 5-star hotels, not very many, but then as you step out of your hotel rooms and look up to the sky, you will see not 5, not 7, but hundreds of stars. And as a lot of people inquire whether your hotel has an AC, I would tell them that just step outside that room. The entire universe is one mega AC. So that is Shillong. Day after tomorrow, I'm traveling to Riboy to inaugurate the Falcon Festival. These very rare species of bird. And I was specifically told by the organizers to be not later than 2 p.m. because by 3 they would take off and fly back to Siberia. That's Meghalaya. 3 days back I was traveling along with our department to take part in the World Trade Mart at London. And I took the opportunity to travel to Stonehenge. And it's a marvel to know that such priceless treasure of international dimension are as old as the Meghalayan age, which started 4,200 years back and ended in 1950. In fact, it's quite possible that our monoliths, our Maubana, are as old, if not older, than Stonehenge. These more outlets, more platforms, and this is what the government is seriously endeavoring. Today we have the MGMP, the mega music project, which is organizing programs on a daily basis to encourage and facilitate a platform for our young stars who are so extremely gifted, as you could see by yourself, who are extremely gifted in the arts and for whom music flows in our veins and is part of our DNA. Therefore, the state government has come forward in a manner that has never been done before. We have announced the creation of cinema halls in all the district headquarters, which hopefully we will be able to accomplish before 2028. We are partnering now with the top artists of the world, artists who have come forward to take our Cherry Blossoms Festival to a different level altogether. It is not about just tourism alone. It is also about affording an opportunity for our young people to rub shoulders with the best in the world. And I'm happy to inform you that quite a few of them have been able to collaborate, to get introduced to international music organizers, and some of them have also been roped in by these major brands in Asia to begin with. The Khasi textiles have gone to Milan, the fashion capital of the world. Our products, our turmeric has gone global. Therefore, it is not such a situation filled with doom and gloom. We only have to see that there are silver linings at the end of the rainbows or the clouds. The only thought that I think I can share with you here is that when we have gatherings like today, let us ensure that we are able to reverse what a famous poet once said: the best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of passionate intensity. The best lack all conviction, while the worst are full of compassionate intensity. It is time that the educated, the enlightened, do not shy away from public discourses on matters of real importance. The fact that the government, our counterparts in Nagaland, fully support Hornbill. In fact, the quantum of funding for Hornbill is 4 times the size of what Meghalaya government is doing for Cherry Blossom. And people are debating on a matter that was debated in the rest of the world 300 years ago, of how do you observe a Sunday. That was a debate that was concluded 300 years back. So for a society to be progressive rather than regressive, I would urge upon all of you who are thought leaders, who are people with substance, people who can add and contribute to the growth trajectory of our very beautiful state, to let us join hands and ensure that our efforts do bear fruit at the earliest. I welcome, and yes, happy Cherry Blossoms Festival. Our Commissioner and Secretary in the Department of Tourism, Dr. Vijay, who has been instrumental in a few major initiatives of the department, Kong Janice Pariat, Shillong born writer, who shares something in common with Arundhati Roy, in the sense that Arundhati was also Shillong born, and we wish that someday you will also pick up the Booker Prize. We do have innate talent, people like Dr. Desmond Karmoplang, people like Bakenpam Nongkandri, who have excelled beyond the bounds of Meghalaya. Other esteemed guests here, Mr. Rohan Chakrabarti, Mr. Naveen Kishore, Mr. Sam Miller, Mr. Nandini Oberoi, Patricia. Still have stalwarts like Pablo Neruda, who was poet and politician. So I'm not, an isolated case. I think we've been rather serious since the start of the program. So I'll wind up with what I read this morning. I got this on the internet, that the latest edition of 50 Shades of Grey is out. It's called 50 Shades of Gravy, and it is extremely saucy. Thank you, God bless, enjoy the rest of the day.
For the third edition of the Shillong Literary Fest of 2023. I'd first like to start by welcoming our Honourable Minister to this stunning setting of the Watts Lake. As we were walking in, we were just discussing how this is probably one of the best settings imaginable in our country, because just in the last week, I had so many people telling, oh no, we never knew that, there were cherry blossoms of this scale in India, in Meghalaya. Why were we all imagining that we should go to Japan to see these kind of cherry blossoms? So, sir, welcome to you. Thanks to your motivation, thanks to your support, we are able to put together this wonderful show. Our minister himself is a poet, is deeply interested in English literature. So he is the apt person to be the chief guest here. We welcome you, sir. I'd also like to welcome, she's still not here, Kong Amperin Lingdo, who will also be joining us as the guest. An event which would figure on national to start off with and get to international, calendars. So now with the third edition, we are firmly, hopefully, on the Indian Literary Festival's map. So this is again a matter of great joy for us. In fact, I was just discussing with Kong Isa, who is also here, she's also Secretary Agriculture. So the idea of the Literary Festival in Shillong in 2021, when she was Deputy Commissioner East Khasi Hills in this very house. So when we were having dinner in her house along with Kong Janice, so we were discussing how we should organize a large-scale literary festival, taking advantage of the cherry blossom season, taking advantage of all the creative people that are in the state and of the setting that of the Watts Lake and the Shillong offer. So again, it's a matter of huge joy that now we are here 3 years in. The first edition was a huge success. The second edition, unfortunately, we had to curtail it, but it still was the one day, it was a wonderful event, and now here we are. The other interesting thing, I think, for people is the timing of the cherry blossoms. Since the time we have been organizing these festivals, even before the literary festival, the forest department used to organize a cherry blossom festival in the Watts Lake. So there was always this whole issue of which is the week to kind of fix the festival date. Because these cherry blossoms, as all of us know, they come for 3 weeks. So 1 week is the start of the blooms, the second week is the peak blooms, and the third week is the waning period. So it's basically every time a guessing game of depending on the rainfall, depending on the weather patterns. So all of us with no expertise are trying to guess which is the best week to organize the festival. So last year we captured the second week, which is the best week. This year I think we managed the third week only. I think we're already in the waning season, but still I'm glad that we still have these beautiful blossoms. So also it's a reference to probably the climate change and the effects of climate change that we're not able to predict these things. Another thought that I want to leave everyone with:
Dance of sensed impressions, customs, facts, and oral myths that are handed down and stories we enact as rituals and often pass on. This is the sharing across time and generations. We all do it in some form or another. There is also a constant state of sharing that happens within us as individuals, like conversations with oneself. But then, this act of conversing within the evolved self, in our heads and hearts, is not just confined to a monologue. There are multiple selves and an amalgamation of inherited memories within me, like a dead soul's archive. Relatives, families, friends, and what of the many literary experiences that form layer after layer of yes, passionately imbibed culture in the form of our reading lives. Thus inheriting others and their cultures, this is of particular interest to me as a publisher.
And I think we're so lucky because look at us, we're in this beautiful place by the lake. It's a gorgeous morning. There's cherry blossom trees in bloom, the sky is blue, and we're here while everyone else on a Tuesday morning is at work slaving away at their desks, and we are so unimaginably lucky to be gathered here together. I'm fortunate and very, very privileged to have attended several literary festivals across the country and sometimes even beyond it. But to be here at this literary festival is extra special because this is home. And no matter how long or how far we may wander, I think it means that much more when our stories return to where they come from. So